Hello and welcome back to Zekism. Hope you're doing well where you are. Hopefully you're saying goodbye to work and hello to relatives during this festive period. Hope you're doing well, yes. And welcome back to the channel. Hello to Marvel, who have, depending on what side of the line you are, has been dropping a Christmas present in front of Avatar Fire and Ash. Don't ask me why. I made a video about it earlier this week. I don't know why. I don't think it serves them well at all. But it's been pretty much spoiled from everyone on the internet, so I don't feel bad about joining the crowd because why would I? Chris Evans is back as Captain America in Avengers Doomsday. It's confirmed. Trailer dropped with basically him holding a child in the house which we left him on in Endgame with Peggy Carter. Apparently the trailer just features him with a baby, presumably his. And that's it. That's the first teaser. First of 4 teaser trailers we're going to see this Christmas, apparently, ahead of Fire and Ash. So this comes to us via Screen Rant. The MCU officially ends its Captain America problem with the Avengers Doomsday trailer, or one of them. We'll come back to that in a second. Chris Evans is back as Captain America. Confirmed, Avengers Doomsday Return fixes a key Marvel Cinematic Universe problem, hinting how Steve Rogers' legacy can continue to impact the franchise for many movies to come. Evans is one of the faces of the Marvel Studios franchise, starring in several of the MCU's best movies like Captain America: The Winter Soldier. The actor's return comes at a time where the MCU needs it the most, and it is no secret that Marvel's multiverse saga has been pretty divisive. While we don't know the extent of Steve Rogers' role in Avengers Doomsday, the MCU would never bring him back for a small part. Still, what we do know of Evans' MCU return changes the game for future Marvel movies. We'll pause there. Let's be honest, it's been pretty much almost confirmed, but like heavily rumoured for about 6 to 9 months since they started filming. I'm based in the UK. I was seeing constant UK press leaks or something to do with, oh, there's the set, by the way, from the house at the end of Endgame. Well, that would imply Chris Evans is back. Haley Atwell and Chris Evans were seen on set as well, so it's pretty much been there. So it's not really a massive shock or spoiler that he's back. The elephant in the room for me, or what I'm more interested in, is what is the extent of his involvement. There's been rumours that he is part of Doom's clan going forward in Doomsday / or mainly Secret Wars. Whether or not he's going to be in that, we don't know. They're not even filming Secret Wars yet. That's for next year. So it'd be interesting to see just the level of his involvement. Now, the other thing it sort of dovetails around is that they haven't been able to replace Captain America since he left. Look, I'm a big fan of Anthony Mackie, and I'm not one of those people who's jumping on the sort of de facto bandwagon and go, he's never going to be Captain America, blah, blah, blah. He's just a different character. Now, do I think he has embodied the Captain America? Well, no, because that was Chris Evans' role. Captain America is a very specific character, and Sam is a very different character. Sam Wilson, sorry, is a very different character. He's not going to just slot into the sort of virtuousness and patriotism, you know. It's a different take on a different role, and you can't just retrofit people into those roles. And do I think Marvel was trying that? Maybe a little half-heartedly. The caveat with, and I like Anthony Mackie, by the way. I think he's really good in the MCU, and I hope he continues to be a part of it because I think he's a really good character. The issue I have, or the defense of Anthony Mackie, is what have they given him that would help him on that road to becoming that role of a, you know, in quotation marks, Captain America? We saw him in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That wasn't a brilliant show to start with, so you're already starting him on a bit of an L. Then we cut Captain America: A Brave New World earlier this year, way back in February this year. It feels like longer, and that wasn't great either. So your 2 debuts, if you like, of Sam Wilson becoming the leader of the Avengers, a damp squib. You know, there's been a lot of L's in phases 4 and 5. Not a lot, should I say. But there have been L's in phases 4 or 5. I'm not going to include 6 because I don't think there's been many since 6 launched earlier this summer. But I think that's the issue. So to your Sam, what was Anthony Mackie to do? He got given duff projects. Anyway, we'll carry on with the article. The MCU has faltered without Chris Evans as Captain America. I don't think it's because Captain America wasn't around that they faltered. Chris Evans' Captain America holds an impressive record in the MCU. The actor debuted as the character in 2011's Captain America: The First Avenger. From there until 2019's Avengers Endgame, which marked the end of Evans' first chapter in the MCU, he appeared in at least one Marvel movie per year, establishing a constant for the franchise, and fans knew that Steve Rogers always returned. The Infinity Saga had better planning than the Multiverse Saga, or at least its overall story was more cohesive, with not even close to the same amount of loose threads and divisive releases as seen in recent years with the new MCU saga. That's 100% true. The planning, the backstage machinations of phases 4 and 5, and like I said, setting up things and never revisiting them, or setting up things that really fans weren't liking and all that sort of stuff, much more prominent in phases 4 and 5, and that has become a sort of a ball of mess that they've never been able to clear up, and they probably won't. There's a lot of threads I don't expect them to resolve, whereas Endgame had an unbelievable job of trying to resolve all of the threads that they had set up, and unbelievably pretty much achieved most, if not all of them. I have no and I don't think that expectation should be put on Doomsday or Secret Wars, even though probably fan expectations will be that every little thread will be tied up. I don't think so. Do you think for 1 second we're going to mention or link back to Jane Foster in Valhalla? Do you think the afterlife is going to be prominent in there whatsoever from the end of Thor: Love and Thunder? Or how about She-Hulk? Is she going to show up? I'm not confident based on reports. What about I think Brie Larson's going to be in Doomsday. I think that's another leak, but what is her story from the Marvels going to be tied up? I don't think so. And there's so many questions from phases 4 and 5 that what about the Young Avengers that they are clearly set up, but no one really has much interest in seeing? Are they going to be referenced or set up or finished or continued? Who knows? Anyway, rant over. The huge Avengers Doomsday trailer fixes the MCU's Captain America problem. See, when they describe it as a Captain America problem, I don't think the issue is that there wasn't a Captain America around. Or likewise, I don't think the issue was there wasn't an Iron Man around. Yes, fair enough, they were the fixated linchpins and spine of the MCU for phases 1, 2 and 3. But that doesn't mean to say that you couldn't have, in their books, set up new characters to be there, because they had to set up Iron Man originally, who was a B-level character, if that, before 2008's Iron Man. It was possible for them to set a new standard with phases 4 and 5. They just dropped the ball. So I disagree with that. Like, oh, we need a Captain America always in the MCU. No, not really. I get it. He's a very iconic character and a figure, but you know, I don't think you need one character to survive to do that. While Evans returned as a version of the Fantastic Four's Human Torch in 2024's Deadpool and Wolverine, his upcoming appearance as Steve Rogers in Avengers Doomsday is notably the bigger deal. Immediately, the fact that one of the MCU's most beloved heroes is back, to what extent we don't know, will not only make the next Avengers movie better, it will also boost audience interest in the film. That's probably true. I don't know how much, to what degree. That's probably true. That said, I can't help but think how the first look at Steve Rogers' MCU return also fixes a bigger franchise problem in the long term, and that is all due to Captain America's son. In the Avengers Doomsday teaser, Marvel reveals that Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter had a son. That kid is the perfect answer to what happens after the multiverse saga. Are they implying that child is going to be the next Captain America? I don't know about that. What is interesting is why they featured the son. What role does that son play? Is it just they have a son? Is that just a story beat? Or seeing Doctor Doom go after, well, certainly the Franklin Richards, the child of Sue and Reed from the Fantastic Four First Steps. Is he targeting children? Is another question. I mean, that would be an interesting tact. It wouldn't be beyond Doom to do that, but for what purpose? And then the article sort of dovetails out and saying, like, if Avengers Secret Wars is set to reboot the MCU in some form, clearly the franchise was not quite working without Captain America. Disagree. So recasting Steve Rogers with someone who could play the hero for the next decade or two would be a tall ask. However, by aging up Steve's son, Marvel can essentially have the same character, a new version connected to the original Captain America. It is the perfect alternative to recasting Captain America and the MCU has teased that path could hold true for another hero, with Black Panther's son also named T'Challa. As such, Marvel plants the seeds. See, I think that, as fine as I'm sure and palatable as I'm sure that would be for audiences, I find that a bit lazy. It's a really lazy. I mean, that's like they all had kids, by the way, and then all the kids grow up to be the same. I mean, it's just, you know, I don't know whether. Anyway, that's the end of the article. I think it's interesting. I think without spoiling what the other trailers are, I think they've all been leaked as well, from what I've seen anyway. So again, I'm not going to mention those, but this one seems to have really been spoilt for audiences. I think, revising what I've already said, I think Captain America returning is not a bad thing, of course. Chris Evans' Captain America, a character that, I'm be honest, as a Brit, didn't really care about. I think, you know, he's always in the comics. He's fine in the comics, and I sort of loosely was fine with him. You know, he's a hero at the end of the day, but didn't really grab me whatsoever. I thought Chris Evans did a really good job playing Captain America on screen. For not anti-American, but for people who rolled their eyes at the Americana of films and TV and pop culture, which we get funneled with elsewhere, they did a really good job with Captain America in phases 1, 2, and 3, I guess, to make him likable, to make him heroic, to make him stoic, and to make him someone you felt for and you wanted to root for. Vulnerability. You know, he was stoic and virtuous, but he had weaknesses, he had emotions, and they did a really great job in writing that character. They haven't done a great job writing Sam Wilson's version of Captain America, and that's on Marvel, I think, rather than Anthony Mackie or on Anthony Mackie or the fans actually for not buying into it. I don't think it's the fact he's black. I think it's the fact that they haven't written him very well in phases 4 and 5 whatsoever, and that's on Marvel. That's on Kevin Feige. That's on whoever the producers are and whoever the creators are of the projects. They've let Anthony Mackie down, not the other way around. A quick band-aid on the issue is to bring back Chris Evans, fine. But what is he coming back to do? I find it really hard to believe that he's just going to come back and be Captain America. Just there. He's just there as Captain America again. I find it really... I disagree with this article that say, well, look, everything's fixed because Captain America's back, right? I don't think that's the case at all. I think there's more to come with this story, with him and his son and potentially Peggy. Yeah, whatever they've got cooking, I think Chris Evans is involved, but I wonder if he's going to be a Doom subservient. Maybe. Who knows? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you excited that Chris Evans is back? Are you excited about Doomsday full stop? Are you looking forward to the rest of the trailers we're going to see over the festive period if you go to the cinema and go check out Avatar? Hey, some people are. That thing's still earning money. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please leave a like or subscribe on the channel, and I'll speak to you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.